My name is Lily Dreikhausen. I grew up here in Oroville. I moved to Oroville when I was 3 years old with my mother and my sister. Undergraduate degree in art history and theatre arts. That feeds into my passion as an actor as well as my interest in literature, and then I followed that up with a degree, a master's in fine art, and I focused on sculpture and philosophy. So at that point I started looking into sculpture, and it being in England and England being quite expensive, I couldn't afford the material because I was interested in large-scale sculpture. So I looked into kind of reusable or kind of upcycled materials and started working in paper mache made of waste paper or scrap paper, and I built large-scale, life-size bear sculptures. And that's when I started looking at personification and kind of how we put human attributes and attitudes onto animals in order to understand them better, and the creating of an encounter between the wild and this kind of the civilized human framed box. So looking at how we can bring the kind of the natural animal world into an encounter with the human viewer as a piece of work in an exhibition space. I continue to look at that now since working with the Treehouse community. I work with wood, a lot more with wood, and 3 years of working with the Treehouse community has meant that I've really been able to explore that material, which has always been an interest of mine, and I've always loved working with wood, especially understanding where it comes from, knowing the trees, knowing the forests, and really understanding the material, how it grows, how it gets to the point where I can turn it into something else and create another kind of living. So if I were to describe my art practice in 3 words, I would say playfulness, as well as perhaps the 3 words I'd choose are embodied ways of knowing. So for me it is about finding practice, which is both through my theatre, my movement practice, whether that's dance or performing or making. What is the impact of being in Oroville for my art practice? So I think I'm very grateful to be part of the art service, because it brings to me, growing up in Oroville, I had the sense that I had everything was open to me. Everything that I was passionate about, that I was interested in, was available to me. For me, that comes from everything that I do, in a way, plays into my art practice. So it's my work with the Treehouse community, for example, so building and working with wood, working with trees and understanding, and then also working with horses, which is a big part of what I do, and is a big part of my practice of embodied ways of knowing, where working with horses you really learn to be present in the physical self and to see what you are expressing, and that's reflected by the horse and the practice with the horse, as well as different aspects of engaging with what I can offer to Oroville. And I think that's what being in Oroville, being an artist in Oroville, is that there's so many people here that are creative, that are offering exceptional things, and bring that together into one practice, which is what I'm working on and aiming to do at present.